Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So one of the curses for us breaking God's laws, statutes, and commandments is that we will be cursed in the city. Now, here in Minneapolis, right, where are the majority of our people housed? Right in the midst of North Minneapolis, right? Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, right? And do we live in the best neighborhoods? Do we have the best things? No. We are cursed right here in the city, all right? We call the gas station over here is known as what? Murder station, murder mark, right? We had incidents over here with brothers being ran over, things like that, right here in the neighborhood, right? We are cursed in the city and also cursed in the field. Back in the day, look at the picture down here. Were we not cursed in the fields? Picking cotton, sugarcane, tobacco? We didn't get our just due, right? We were cursed in the cities, cursed in the field. And why did that happen to us, Ebony? I'm going to see if you were listening. Why did these things happen to us? We didn't follow his commandments. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We're going to show you a little bit more. Give me verse 47.
Yes, sir. Verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
So it says, because we didn't serve God following his laws, statutes, and commandments with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, what's going to happen?
For the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
He said, we will serve our enemies. Sis, on the plantation fields, who are we serving?
Bring it out.
Who are we serving, sis? The white man, right? Absolutely. Without a doubt. So God called them, did he call them our friends? I know your mom's Caucasians, but the Bible says there are enemies, right? This is the injustice that they did to us. Why? Because we broke God's laws, statutes, and commandments, right? So now we must serve our enemies. Right. Read on.
Yes, sir. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
The Lord sent them against us because we didn't serve God. Read on.
In hunger.
In hunger. So when we hungry, where do we go? Cub Foods, right? Do our people own Cub Foods? No. We go to Walmart. Do our people own Walmart? Target, right? These things we don't own, but we have to go there and put money into their pockets because we broke God's laws, statutes, commandments. We're not able to go to a majority black-owned businesses, right? That where we produce the goods, we do the farming. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because why? We got to serve our enemies in hunger. Read on.
And in thirst.
And in thirst. If you thirsty, what you gonna get? Some water, something to drink. You're gonna get some Dasani, that's white people own. You're gonna get Pepsi. Hell, even you say, well, nah, I just drink tap water. Who runs the city? Do our people run the city? Are we getting the benefits of the city? Do we set the prices for the water bills? Absolutely. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. Read on.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. The clothing that's on our backs. Did we make these things? Where does most of the clothing come from? China, right? Those are our enemies as well. Right. They don't want to see God's people come back to being rulers over the earth. Because that means they will have to come down low.
Right.
Right? Read on.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things. I'm going to give you an example with Brother Tevin. You had to get him a birth certificate, didn't you? You had to go down to the government to get that birth certificate, didn't you?
Right.
Do our people run the government? Right? Do you guys drive? You got a driver's license? Where did you have to go to get a driver's license? To the DMV, who we don't run, we don't own any of that, right? Right? So this is an example of you will serve them in the want of all things. All right? Read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon our necks. And we bring these photos out here just to show our brothers and our sisters. Read that again, the bottom part.
and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee.
Who did this happen to? Did it happen to the white man? Chinese man? To the East Indian man?
Right.
The so-called Jewish man? Did this happen to him? God said this would happen to his people.
Right.
That should spark. If it only happened to us, guess what? We are God's people.
That's right.
Right? And it said it will happen to us until we be destroyed. Now, we're still living today, so we're not necessarily destroyed physically, but we're destroyed mentally, spiritually. We think Christ is a white man. Christ is a black man. We went over that earlier, right? Did you know that, sis? Christ is a black man according to the Bible, right? But a lot of our people, they say, oh no, not my Jesus, right? But if we show an image of this, they won't follow it. They won't read for themselves, right? That's how we're destroyed as a people. All right, sis, what's your question? Come on.
We've been to a few different churches, and there's never been a picture of this man with red burning eyes or wool-like hair. Why do they teach us that he is white, basically? The word actually says that he's not.
Hey, that's a great question, sis. We're going to get it for you out of the Bible, all right? Yeah, Jeremiah 23. Jeremiah 23. You got to go. All right, sis, you can't hang on for like 5 more minutes?
I got to go with my comment.
All right. Well, on the back of the flyer, we got our phone number, email address. Get in contact with us. Actually, stop by and give your number to one of the brothers, all right, so we can give you a call. So the reason why they're doing this is when you go to the churches, what they tell you at the beginning, the middle, and the end of service, they pass around the collection plate, right? They're in it for filthy lucre's sake. All right. They scattered the flock because when we were in slavery, we weren't able to read and write, right? And the white man told us that God loved everybody and that Christ was white and we couldn't read, so we just believed, right? We just took him for his word, which the Bible says, never trust thine enemy. All right. Read that. Yep.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men.
So the way they shut up the kingdom of heaven is they don't teach you what you should know. They're not teaching the Bible as it is written, right? We read earlier in Acts 5, we ought to obey God rather than men. But when you go into churches, they only tell you 2 scriptures or 3 or 4 scriptures the whole service. Right here in the middle of the streets, we out here teaching you multiple scriptures, giving you the understanding. They give you that feel-good service so they can collect money at the end of the day. Hold your question just a second. We got John 11. If we let him alone.
John chapter 11 and verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
So these were the Pharisees. These were the learned men who knew God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And they was talking about Christ. What are we going to do about Christ? Just like today, the church is like, what are we going to do about these Israelites who are teaching us teaching the people God's laws, statutes, and commandments? Read on.
Verse 48, if we let him thus alone,
if we don't do anything to him,
all men will believe on him.
All men would believe on him, meaning we had to come back to doing the laws, statutes, and commandments. And these days they were doing sacrifice, which the priests, the scribes, the Pharisees, they were getting money to do sacrifices. So Christ was coming to teach we no longer have to sacrifice. We have to believe on him, follow God's laws, statutes, commandments, and then we get the kingdom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.